Hello and welcome, my beautiful Scorpio minds. I hope you're doing really well. Today I'm not alone, as you can see. I have beautiful Mariana next to me. We've been traveling through the UK a little bit. Right now we're in London and I'm so excited to start today, and I'm also really excited that you're here now. I'm so happy.
That was so cute. I cannot stop laughing. I'm like smiling.
No.
Thank you for having me. Hi guys. I'm wondering what you have prepared.
Yeah, so, well, you know, this is like our mindset talk, guys, and Mariana is like really big in mindset and like law of attraction and stuff like that. You are, definitely.
True.
Like, you've been talking a lot about that, and I'm learning so much from you as well, so this is such an inspirational trip for me too. And yeah, you've also been telling me a lot about like your law of attraction, how you've been using it the last couple of weeks and months and stuff like that. And also that you're attracted your boyfriend.
I literally manifested everything through law of attraction, and basically everything that I put on like my vision board came true. So
That's so beautiful. Maybe take us through like how you did that, how these things came to your mind that you wanted to like write down, and then also how you manifested.
So starting right at the beginning, I never really believed in this kind of stuff. I thought it was like so ezo, you know, and like so
too magic and stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, who the hell believes in this stuff? So I didn't, like, if you're one of those people, then like I get you. I was there as well.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, I was like, who the hell does that? But then I last year, some circumstances in my life like led me to get to a place where I was like this sucks. Like, what do I do now? Like, I just like hit rock bottom, and I was like, you know what, I don't know how to get from here. And then
so you felt kind of stuck in your life.
I felt so stuck. I was living in Prague. I was, you know, doing the uni life, and it was just kind of like living a really unfulfilling life for myself. Like, it was really not fulfilling for me. And so I randomly, someone suggested to listen to a podcast, and even before I like never listened to podcasts, I was like, what the hell is this?
Podcasts are so good.
Yeah, they're so good now. So I just listened to it, and that one podcast changed my life. I think it was a girl called Manifestation Babe. She basically talks about manifesting money, which I didn't really want to manifest at that time. I really more wanted to manifest like a job that I liked, a stable relationship, stuff like that. But what she says can be applied to everything. So that's how I started. And then I went to VegFest in London, and then I met like the whole VIVOLIFE crew, and I realized that like amazing people are out there, because I always thought that I was like the only person in my group of friends who like
who's like weird and
who's
different.
weird and who's vegan and who does manifestation and meditation stuff. And then I met like all of these people, and then right when I came from VegFest, I made a vision board, and like I put all of the stuff on my vision board, like a boyfriend and like where I want to live and what I want to do, and everything came true.
So crazy.
And everything came true within like 2 months.
Quite fast.
Yeah, in
right?
2 months I moved to Bali, and I was actually just going to Bali for 2 weeks for vacation, and then I just ended up
Well, that's when I
staying
met
there.
you, yeah.
Yeah, we met in Bali, and that's really when I was just gonna go for it. Like, I had nothing to lose. I just told myself, you know what, I'm gonna give myself a year with this law of attraction thing. If it doesn't work, then whatever, I'll just go back to what I was doing. But like, really, I had nothing to lose by doing affirmations, by meditating, you know, like I really had nothing to lose. And that's really how I was learning. And I feel like in the past few months, that's when I really like got my law of attraction game on point. And I think it's like a much deeper topic. Like, I think this could be like an hour-long video.
Oh yeah, I think you can just talk about like all these little aspects all the time.
So like, I think we'll do like a deeper video at a different time, but I think to touch upon it like the most, if you basically the key points of law of attraction for me is feeling like it's already here. That's like the main point, and stop noticing lack. So if you, for example, want to manifest money, that was like a big one for me earlier this year when Corona broke out, because I made most of my money through modeling, and then I lost my stream of income because no modeling jobs, and I was like, fuck, sorry about that. I was like, like now I'm screwed, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I was noticing lack so much,
Mm-hmm.
and the more you notice lack, the more you attract lack, because you attract what you think about. Like thoughts
Exactly, yeah.
become things.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to shift your mindset and really act as if it's already happening. And I know it might sound so silly, but if you want, like, being abundance and being financially free, you have to act like it's already here. So you have to, and but I don't mean like going out and spending everything,
but just
Mhm.
like feeling it inside that
Mhm.
you already like get all the money and
Yeah.
feel like you're already living in like the future
Exactly.
where you have everything that you
and
really
have the
want.
sort of feeling
and
of
have
like
the feeling.
like I'm fine, you know. Like yesterday we were walking from Whole Foods and we saw like this
Yeah.
amazing hotel
Yeah,
on
I
the
know.
side,
Uh-huh.
and I don't even know what it's called, but we were like, wow, wow, wow.
Le Méridien.
and then like sort of like it's like a totally high end hotel, like so, and I don't know what we said.
No,
we said,
I was saying, wow, that's so beautiful, but so or
oh
I said
yeah,
it's expensive.
and you said it's so expensive, and I was like, no, it's not. It's easy. It's easy, and it's basically like the feeling. Like, of course, you won't gonna if you can't afford it right now. You're not gonna go and sleep there. But it's more of like the feeling, like, you know what? I could go sleep there. I'm just choosing not to. I feel like maybe that's overvalued, and I also stopped saying expensive. Like, I would never say expensive. I would just say overvalued, because expensive to me is like limiting myself, telling myself that I cannot afford
not
that.
there,
It's like
true.
stuck. Like it will never get there. But overvalued is more like making me feel like, oh, I have the money for that. I'm just
But I
choosing
don't
not to
need
spend it
Exactly,
on that.
yeah.
I'm choosing to put my money
Oh,
somewhere
that's so
else.
beautiful. Yeah,
You
I
know,
love that.
and like. Instead, I would rather have like an Airbnb like this where we can hang out, because in a hotel room we can. So like it makes sense in my head, and then I'm like, yeah, actually I'm a rich ass bitch, and I could, like, you know, just the feeling like I could go there, but I'm just choosing not to, and that's like so liberating. And the more you practice this feeling of like just feeling so relaxed and not worrying about it, the more money flows to you. And if it still doesn't work, then just do affirmations.
Well, yeah, you still have to like work for it, right? It's
yeah.
not that you just sit there and you're like, oh, I'm already rich.
I think also that's where a lot of people go wrong, because
Yeah.
they're like, I'm just attracting everything. I'm just gonna sit here. Like, no, you get into the feeling of having money, and like your brain doesn't really know what's happening. It's just going on autopilot. So if you keep saying, I'm rich, I have money, it's going to start to look for ways to get you the money. And you have to be open to those ways. You know, it might come in the most random ways. Like I never thought, for example, I never thought I would do a yoga program. But at the beginning of the year when Corona broke out, I had no streams of income, and I started really like being like, affirming money is coming to me, money is coming, and then this opportunity like overnight came that like this, it was like this idea of, oh, maybe you should do a yoga program.
It just like popped in your head?
I actually talked about it. He was like, why don't you teach yoga online? Like, because I taught in person, so why don't you make a yoga program? And I was like, and so I filmed it, and that was like a big stream of my income, because when people registered, it was like a subscription, and that was like a big stream of income for me, and I would never think of it, but you have to act on that impulse, you know what I mean? If I would not have acted upon it, then I would have still been in the same place. So like you said, you can't just like sit, put your feet up, and be like, la. Maybe it works for some people.
Maybe. And also be open for all of the opportunities that come, because sometimes like just little things come, you know, your way, and if you don't take them, if you're like, oh, that's stupid, or no, that's not me, or whatever, then you're not completely open to it.
Exactly.
To just like explore like all of the different opportunities.
Because ultimately, I know this sounds so like out there, but ultimately the universe knows what's best for you, and you might have like a final goal in your mind. Let's say, I want to live in have this amount of money, and you think you're gonna get from A to B like this. Yeah. But actually, you're gonna get there like this, then you go there and then back, and then, you know, like, and it's actually gonna be such a more pleasurable experience for you, because it's gonna be tailored for you, what works for you, and like the journey that you thought of for yourself would have been like a terrible journey for you. Like, you would have been miserable probably. So you have to just really surrender to the flow and really be open and receptive to whatever is coming your way.
And not worry too much about like everything else. How do you cope with negative experiences, for example, like you say there's a way and it goes up and down and right and left and stuff like that.
What do you mean negative experience?
What if there's like a setback where you're like, wow, this was not what I expected, this is something where like I don't feel good about it, like COVID hit, for example.
So ever since I heard this quote like a year ago, it changed my life. It goes, everything in life happens for me, not to me.
I love it.
Yeah. And whenever you realize this, then like nothing matters. There's no negative experiences. I don't feel like anything that happens in my life is like a negative experience. Everything I can learn from and everything I can use for myself to grow and get better and move forward. So even COVID like brought so many learning experiences. Being in quarantine, being stuck inside, brought up so many suppressed emotions for me personally that had to be cleared out. And actually like 2020 has been the most revolutionary year for me, like the most transforming, just because of so much inner work. So I think the most important thing is like, don't think of setbacks as something, or setbacks even, like there's no such thing as setbacks. It's just redirection. And learning about yourself, what you want, what you don't want, and moving forward. That's really all I think. Yeah,
it's really beautiful. It's really, I see exactly the same, like in every experience you can learn something from it, even if it's negative, quote unquote. I also don't think that there's negative experiences, just like unpleasurable experiences maybe. But yeah, guys, try not to like be totally submerged in these negative emotions. Also, for my understanding, I also teach that to my clients, there are no negative emotions. All of the emotions are there for a reason, to show you where there's still healing that needs to be done, or progress that needs to be done, or also that leads you to a way where you want to go instead of where you don't want to go.
Exactly. And I'm sure some of you who maybe have like really traumatic negative experiences might disagree with us on this, and think like, what you're saying is bullshit. Like, and I get you, because I had a really traumatic childhood. I'm quite open about it on the podcast, on my YouTube channel, and it was bad. And I'm not saying like that I attracted it. Obviously when you're a child you don't attract these things, but
it's not your fault, you know. There were also some people saying like, oh, it's not your fault that you attracted these blah blah, because they said like your negative experiences are negative because you make them so negative, right?
And basically what we're saying is like, when it happens after, don't get into the victim mode, and don't blame. Like, I could be here, I could be at home in my mom's house, in my bed, just crying that I had a terrible childhood and I cannot get up, and where would that get me, you know what I mean? Like, just, what we mean by like not getting negative experiences, like, don't be a victim. Just like, you can learn from everything, and everything happened for some kind of reason for you. And
not saying that it's good that it happened, but
there was some shit happening in my life, probably in your life as well, and it's just life. It is what it is, I guess, and you can learn from everything.
And also, you're not your past anymore, so you are not in those experiences. They happen to you. We're not saying they're good, we're not saying they're bad, they're just there. You chose not to let them influence you in your now moment, and that's good.
Exactly.
Move on and create your dream future.
So I often get messages like, oh, it's easy for you to say, but I have a traumatic childhood, or I have a traumatic now, and like, I get you guys, like, I was there.
It's really hard to like let go of that, because you kind of identify with that situation, with these feelings.
But you have to let go of that. That's the thing. Like, it's still a limiting belief. If you're in the victim mindset, then you're just like, oh, my life sucks, blah, blah, blah. Then you attract just more lack. And this is like, again, a video for longer, but I think if you need some guidance in this, then you should reach out to a coach or someone, someone to guide you, because if it's like such overwhelming feelings of being like helpless in the situation, then, and you feel like you need help and actual guidance, then I would reach out to a coach who can really guide you and help you on your journey to get grounded and to get perspective.
Definitely, because you're so caught up in your own emotions, own feelings. Like, also, we didn't go through that alone. Like, we had people in our lives.
Yeah, well, like, just to give some perspective, I went to therapy every week since I was 11 till I was like 19. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just really hard to like get out of your routines of thinking, because it's like a spiral and it's learned behavior, so it's really hard to like let go or see the patterns even, because we think it's normal and we think
that's
it's
the
just
thing,
there.
seeing the patterns, seeing the limiting beliefs, seeing what you do day to day.
And it's so hard to get out of that alone. I feel like when you did a step and you kind of know how it feels like, where it goes, then it's easier to also work on yourself.
Yeah. It's definitely possible to do it alone, but you have to really commit. Like,
it's so easy to walk away from it and just be like, oh yeah, no, that's because of the other person.
Yeah, it's so easy to blame and put the blame on other. Like, it's so easy to say, oh, I'm messed up because of my childhood, or like, my parents messed me up. Or, it's so easy to just like put the blame on. But what's actually challenging is going inside and being like, what is this bringing up for me? Why am I feeling like this? How can I move forward? How can I change?
Also, like, what am I saying? Like, how am I talking to me, talking to others? How are my behaviors triggering my now moment that I don't like and stuff like that? It's so hard to actually be honest with yourself.
Exactly.
A lot of traumas and a lot of just suppressed emotions coming up there. Yeah, I've been going through that a lot too this year. And
it's like, when we say trauma, I think people who aren't really like don't know much about this yet think of trauma as like a really big events, like earthquakes or like death in a family when you were little. But you know, traumas are subjective to everyone, and
it can
even
be really minor.
It could be something like so little when you were like 4 years old and someone like touched you in the wrong way, just like, you know, and you were so sensitive, and that could be traumatic for you.
Or just like a sentence that your mom told you or something like that, kind of stuck in your head.
Exactly. If you had like a parent that was really rough on you, like telling you like, oh, you need to do this better, you need to do this better, then that's traumatic for a child too. So look for this also in your childhood, not just like things that might seem really big, you know, but some things that
some little ones.
And I really liked what you said about talking to yourself.
Oh, it's a big
that
one.
is like the biggest one. That's like what I said with the expensive, overvalued, because your brain is always listening. And how I like to think of it is like, have you seen the movie Aladdin?
No, not yet. No.
But you know the Disney movie, how there's the genie in a bottle, you get the 3 wishes. I like to think of it like this, like whatever you say, there's a genie next to you and it says, as you wish.
Yeah.
So if you say like, I'm ugly, then the genie will go, as you wish. Or, you know what I mean? Like, if you keep telling yourself, oh, I can never lose weight, I'm just like the person who never can lose weight, for example, I don't know, some people say that, then your genie will be like, okay, we'll make sure that will happen.
Yeah, again, it's an identity that you've taken on, that you say, I can never lose weight, I can never find love. I don't know, like everything that you say to yourself, as you said before, your mind creates your reality.
Exactly. So I heard like that we have like 60,000 thoughts a day, and like 95% of them are subconscious thoughts. So only 5% of the day you're actually consciously thinking. Most of the day your brain is on autopilot.
Like talking.
It's just talking on autopilot. So if you have like a really negative autopilot from conditioning when you were little, from being told that you're not good enough, from you're not lovable enough, then this program is running all day. And you could, you know, do your affirmations in the morning, do your affirmations before bed, but ultimately it's not going to change anything, because 95% of the day you're telling yourself that you suck, you're unlovable, you're overweight, you're everything. So you really have to reprogram the subconscious mind. And how you do this is
by observing your thoughts.
Yeah, observing and catching yourself every time you have a negative thought and replacing it by a positive thought. And this is not easy at the beginning. I'm telling you, like, this is work. Like, it's taking your brain to the gym, literally. It is. Like, every time you catch a thought, you go to the mirror and you say, fuck no, I am lovable, I am amazing, whatever it is that you, like, I can attract money, I am abundant, and you have to consciously make that effort to do that, because otherwise you just keep running, and you can tell yourself 3 times a day that I'm lovable, but
if you don't believe it,
So
at first it feels like, why am I telling myself that? Like, it feels stupid and stuff
it
like
feels
that.
stupid because you're like acting. It's like, fake it until you make it, you know? It feels stupid, but okay, wait. I'm gonna give you guys one example of fake it till you make it. So in Bali, we had to move out of our first house with Adko, and we couldn't find a nice house. Like, we just couldn't find one that would be, that we would just
happy.
like feel relaxed and would be pretty and within like what we wanted to spend and stuff. And so then we were like, we looked at like 20 houses, and then we were like, no, we're just gonna like meditate on it. So we closed our eyes and we said, how do we want the house to look like? And we have like the same style, so it was easy. And we said like a white house, white couch, big windows, like a nice view of like greenery, beautiful bedroom, big bathroom. And we literally saw it in our head, and we pretended, and we were like, okay, and we felt like we ordered it, you know what I mean? We were like, okay, now it's ordered, now it's gonna come. And we really believed it. We were like, okay, this is our house. Literally, I'm not kidding you, like within 1 hour I still found it on like a site.
Wow.
And we didn't see it before, and we went to see it right that day, and then we got it, and that's where we lived. Like, that's how much it worked.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it was insane.
Wow.
And it was like, even like we had a meeting with the owner, and he gave us like the price, and I was like, is that the best price you can give? And then he gave us even a lower price. So like everything was working perfectly. So that just shows you how much, like, how it works. Like,
do you also want to hear a story of mine of like attraction and like how it works?
What did you say?
Do you also want to hear a story of mine?
Oh yeah.
Okay, a short one. So I had this really crazy big belief that like I'm not lovable or I'm not enough and stuff like that, because like I was attracting boys, but it was never like that like good, you know. So it was when I was in Australia. I really had that belief, and it like fucked with my head. So I put it on my screen, just like here where it said, "You are worthy of love." I wrote that down, so I saw it every time. And also here within, I don't even know, but a couple of weeks or something, I met a boy I already met before, but never really worked out. But then it was just like perfect, you know, and it was this crazy story of like, oh my god, he was just exactly what I wanted.
Wow.
Like appearance wise, and also like how he acted and stuff like that. It was like perfect, and I was like, oh my god, yes. We had this really nice a month and a half until I had to go back to Germany, but it was just like,
but it was
so
perfect. Wow. Because you believed you were worthy of this kind of stuff.
I believed I was worthy.
You finally stopped believing that you can only attract fuckboys and fuckers.
Yeah.
And you attracted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That was so crazy.
It.
Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
So guys, go ahead and start believing that the reality you crave, you want, you wish is already out there. And really start believing now.
It's already here. Time just hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah,
it's already happening. Just envision you as a rich woman, a rich man, if you're attracting abundance. What would you wear? What would you eat? What would you act like? Who would you hang out with? Do that. Like,
how would you feel about it? And really feel those feelings already coming up every day, every moment.
Gratitude.
And
like, yes.
also start talking the way you would want to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we could go on and on.
I know, right? I think this is enough. Thank you so much, Mariana, for
Thank you for having me.
For giving this insight. So beautiful. Guys, let us know your thoughts down below in the comments. I would really love to know if you already experienced something like that, if you're struggling with some kind of beliefs, anything, and then we're gonna make sure to answer your questions.
Yeah,
also.
we're gonna do a part 2. Maybe we're just gonna go ahead and do a part 2 on my channel now. No?
We can do that.
We're gonna film another video with Tanya. I was gonna ask her some questions about her journey, so we can continue.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
there.
gonna link the video down below so you can hop on over right now. Thank you so much. Love you guys, and see you next time here on my channel.